Got a Kubey. Kubey. Is it Kubey or Kubey? Hey, it is a KU298E. Or wait, is that an 8 or a B? Yeah, 298E. 14C G10 Jade. All right. I don't know what that means. All right, what it means is it's a Kubey Pikal and pretty large at that. Yeah, I had to get this. You know I had to because I am partial to those Pikal knives. Look at this Finch. Come on, man. It's a Finch Hatfield. Digging that. All right. Yeah, you know I had to get the Kubey Pikal because I A, really dig Kubey knives, but B, I am a fan of putting a Pikal knife in my pocket. I like it. I am a fan from a self-defense perspective. If I've got a knife in my pocket and I'm counting on it for secondary or primary self-defense, a little Pikal style knife. In my opinion, that Pikal style knife, let's get that blade out of there and I can speak a little. Yeah. In my opinion, this style knife with this grip right here is the perfect self-defense piece right here. In tight, no matter how somebody would come forward against this, it would be hard not to be hit with a lethal wound. Yeah. Wow, is this thing? I mean, man, there's some stuff to talk about here with this. I can tell you that right now. And I was hopeful. I was like, because I have a lot of respect for Kubey and their knives. Some of my Kubeys are just some of my most favorite knives, and they're not necessarily like super high budget or super high end materials or price or any of that. They are just really well built, wonderful actions, and the design on them. And they partner with such good designers. Who's this one? See if I can read that. Muzi Design, Muzi. Let's zoom in. See if we can't make sense of it. Muzi or Muse maybe. Muz Design. I They partner with such good designers, and so I was hopeful that this piece would represent well as a Pikal. And so I see it's got like a Emerson tab, in pocket. This would ride like this, and then of course coming out, it would snag on the corner of the pocket right here and sling this blade. And so you would have it here in your finger and just up and out into this grip. I mean, wow. Wowie, wowie, wow. Hmm. Not sure what all this jimping is. Now, this jimping makes perfect sense. The thumb to come out here and cap on that. This, I don't know. And then this, again, is it for like this? Or this? Let me think. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Well, let's run this action a little bit before we take it apart. Interesting little back flipper that's going on there. Right here. Very effective. Thumb flick. Spidey flick. Yeah. But I think ultimately the design of this knife and the way that I would see this piece would be as a serious self-defense piece, a Pikal knife, and so it would go in the pocket as such. Okay, so the idea would be to reach here and then pull, and that Emerson style flipper would catch the corner of the pocket like it did right there and sling that blade open automatically. Now, it looked kind of brutal doing it there, probably because I'm not wearing the pants, but yeah, you know, I mean, it's designed well. It catches this really well and slings it open. Let's take it apart. Interesting. I mean, this thing, and I was hopeful. When I saw it, I was like, man. Because here's the other side. Tried to, I don't know if it's the other side, but it's a point with this knife. I have a couple of different knives similar to this by different manufacturers. And the minute they go into this style of knife, the price goes through the roof. Well, this is a budget Kubey. It's got JG10, 14C 28-inch steel, and they priced it as such. Steel liners. This ring is removable, but it's kind of like a backspacer, so I don't think you could run the knife without it. I think you would need it. I take that. No, you need it. Because, see, there's no stability here now. Yeah, it spaces everything properly. So, yeah, you can't, the knife's not going to function without that in there. Standard cage bearings. It's got a captured pivot. Pocket clip is reversible, so you could go right or left with this knife. And it's got a little insert, a filler, if you flip it to the other side. So, pretty cool. All right. I mean, minimal wipe down. There's really not a lot of oil in here. I kind of don't see any. Yeah. Let's give it a quick wipe. It's got a black stonewash finish on the blade. Flat. Pretty much same finish on the steel liners. They did not remove the coating from where the bearings run, so the bearings are cutting a path through there. Not the end of the world, but be cooler if they did. Somebody pick up on that, maybe. Maybe not. All right. I'm going to wipe this pivot. There we go. Oh, knocking stuff down, throwing stuff around. Let's come up from the bottom here. I think it's actually like that. Yeah. And we're going to go cage up. Mm-hmm. Put a little bit where that detent ball track is. And then let's put this back on. Pretty simple. Yeah, I was hopeful that they did this right, especially at the price point, and did it like I know Kubey can do a knife, because this could become a highly recommended knife for me if they just did it right. Yeah, the action on it is wonderful, very smooth, typical Kubey action. Blade is perfectly centered, back flipper. Yeah, snappy. But if you wanted to, you can Spidey flick it. Yep. And it's got the thumb flip, the little thumb disc. Yep. All right. So on the action, I mean, I'll give it an A minus. Here again, this isn't really a pull it out of your pocket and go, hey, let me do this. I think this would be, if I carried this, I would carry this and leave it alone. Like I would carry two pocket knives. This wouldn't be something I would pull out of my pocket and cut a piece of paper, or if somebody says, hey, can I see your knife real quick, they got to cut a thread off of this knife would not come out of my pocket. This would be no more than I would pull my pistol out and hand it to somebody. If they said, hey, I got to drive this tack in, can I use the butt of your pistol? No more would I allow that to happen than I would give this to somebody to cut a thread off their jacket. That's not what this knife, in my opinion, it's not what it's made for. It is a very purposeful self-defense piece. Yep. And so if I carry it, that's the way I'm going to carry it. I'll carry it in my front right-hand pocket with the sole intention of it being a weapon in my pocket. And I would carry it down like so, with this to catch the corner of my pocket. And so I'm going to see how well that runs in my pocket right now. Okay, so that runs so smooth that I'm going to illustrate it. I had these two in my front pocket. This little civivi, I can't think of the name of it. I don't know that it says it on here. The null, or I don't remember, but it is such a good little flipper that it's become my little pen knife. And then I have my little miso in my pocket today too. Um, don't know why I had two, but I did. But I'm gonna turn the camera so that I can show you this knife, because oh man, does it run so well. Okay, so um, yeah, it's in my front pocket right here. So let me show. So there it is. Minimal coming out of the pocket. I mean, it's a deep carry clip for this style of knife, but this ring has to come out of there. And so to deploy this knife, all I got to do is grab that and just pull that out of pocket, and it will deploy that blade. Ready? So here we go. Just like that. And in the flash, in a blink of an eye, I'm all ready so that I can strike forward like this if I have to, and then function this knife appropriately. And it just runs wonderfully. I mean, nothing, there's no trick to it. Here I go again. Just that simple. I mean, I'm not having to put weird pressure on it or anything. All I have to do, locate the ring and come out of pocket. Wonderful. Okay, so we're back to normal, but yeah, that thing runs wonderfully. And I mean, honestly, I'm going to upgrade the action to an A, to an A plus, because the way that that comes out of pocket for what I think the knife is about is wonderful. Let me get this out of here. And this, I don't need this. Let me check this blade. I didn't check for play or any of that. Oh yeah, it's locked up as tight as can be. Wonderful. Basically, drop shut action. I mean, a little coaxing, but yeah, it runs really well. And you can spidey flick it. Pretty reasonable. I can grip it here like so. Locked in there. Confident. I'm not sure what I would do with it like that. Like I say, to me, it's a one-trick pony, and it's this right here, in hand. Man, I dig it. All right, the pocket clip runs really well. It's got great tension on it, so it's got good retention in the pocket. Safety-wise, I don't think the blade's exposed anywhere, but we'll check. Yeah, there's no exposure on the blade. So I wonder how sharp that 14C is. Now, Kubey has never sent me anything that wasn't sharp, but there's always a first, right? I mean, I'm going to strop it. What the heck? Quick strop. And I'm just going to use my little field sharpener and run it backwards a couple of passes. Kubey's 14C has always been really hard, good steel. I've always found it to be that. Last pass. All right. Well, let's hit this paper again. See if I can't get that hanging chad off of there. It just needed a little strop, man. That's all. Yeah, the thing's crazy whistling sharp now. And that tip, oh my goodness, is it a needle? Yep, which is exactly what you want for this type of penetration and then ripping. Coming back, pulling that arm back with this. Woo! Yeah, brutal. All right, so surely there's a name for it. I'm going to name it. You've already read it, but I'm going to name this piece, and then let's talk price. Okay, there's several different models of this, different blade colors, a stone-washed, non-black coated, black stone-washed, different handle colors, liner color. There's just some different versions on the same theme. But I found two names for it. One, it was called the Rogue Karambit, and then another was just called the Roger. So, I don't know, man. But the price is pretty consistent. It looks like it's going to be about $64 retail. And then, of course, if you can find discount codes, I wouldn't be surprised if you can't get this just under $60. Yep. And so, is that a buy? Listen, if this isn't your thing and you're not into this in any way, well, save yourself $60. But if you're into that, like I say, I've got a few different manufacturers that have made this style of knife, and to me, this one will stack right up there with any of them. The ergonomics, this in hand, just a wonderful, completely confident grip. And the way that this is built, some of these, if you were to strike with this, you run the risk of really hurting your finger. This one is correct. Can also get the thumb up on here if I want to for this. I mean, but if I was going to strike, I'd want to get my thumb down out of the way of that. But yeah, it's a wonderful version of a folding Pikal knife, and I'm a big fan. I like it a lot. Very cool. The Kubey Rogue Roger, whatever it is, man, I don't know. How about the Kubey Pikal, folding Pikal? Pretty cool piece. I dig it. Hey, let's check that lock. Yeah, there ain't no issues there. I mean, we've got about 90% of the actual liner lock is over behind the blade, and total lockup is probably 35% there. Yep, pretty cool. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching.